Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. I am Frank Lang, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning. Please, all of you stand, and we're going to sing.
If you want to stand. If you don't want to stand, you don't have to. It's early in the morning. So let me teach this to you. I think this is going to become our new every Sunday song. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Got it? We want to just let everyone know you are welcome here. You found your home. It goes like this. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You got it? Three-part harmony now. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome. Now, everyone at home, let's invite you. Here we go. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome. You can look around with your eyes. Tell someone. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Let me sing this to you and I'll teach it to you. Our arms are wide open. There's room for everyone. Wherever you're going, wherever you're from, you are home. Here's your part. You are welcome here. 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 My turn. Whatever you've been through, you found us somehow. Ain't that the truth? Wherever you are on your journey now, you are home. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. How about we are welcome here? We are welcome here. We are welcome here. We are welcome. Give it to yourself. Put your hands on your heart and say, I am welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome. Go back to you and look around the room one more time and say, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here.
Great. I want to remind you all, please turn off your cell phones. And then let's take a minute and greet each other. Say hello to your neighbor. All right. And now the morning prayer will be offered by our practitioner of the day, Lesley Gianetti.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing, and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good, and I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take will be taken in pure faith, and I'm more loving every moment, every day. Now there may be walls and there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. If you want to sing this with me, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I'm more loving. And I'm more loving every moment, every day. And I am kinder every moment. And I am kinder every moment, every day. I will surrender. I will surrender every moment, every day.
Surrendering up, surrendering to the highest and greatest good, the eternal goodness of the infinite life, the almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent life, pouring itself across the past, the present, and the future in this perfect, holy moment of right now, and creating out of itself everything, visible and invisible, and recreating itself by means of each one. I'm a vessel for the recreation of the infinite life as it continues to beat my heart and breathe my breath, as it continues to align me with itself. As this is true for me, this is true for each one here, that each one is a unique individualization of the infinite life. This is the truth of being and the divine inheritance of each one. So I claim an opening in consciousness right now to release any sense of lack or limitation, to release any burden of the heart, just letting it go back into the nothingness. And I further claim for each one an opening in consciousness for the deep and resonant realization that each one is a vessel for the influx of inspiration of thought, and each one is a vessel for the outflux of the reflection of the infinite life itself into experience, into the world. The vitality, the wisdom, the love, the peace that passes all understanding is fulfilled in this realization and in this acceptance that God itself within each one is brought to fruition and fulfillment by this realization of unity consciousness, as the Godhood within the humanhood is always assimilating itself through each one, every moment, speaking, whispering, "Be still and know that I am." And in this I am is the magnificent power of the rhythm of the universe just waiting to be made manifest through each one. So I accept for each one the opening in consciousness for a new way of knowing that life is for each one. In eternal goodness, there is always more good to be expressed. And I celebrate the life within each one, which is always urging each one forward to higher and greater beauty and truth. And I release my word now to the law of mind, which accepts my word as a new creation. It envelops my word into itself, bringing it into form for each one's personal manifestation and highest good. And so it is. Amen.
That's beautiful, Lesley. Thank you. So when I have gone through things where things didn't work out quite the way I wanted them to, I had to write myself a song to remember that sometimes when something doesn't work out, that something better is right around the corner. So we're going to get a little funky this morning so you can wiggle in your seats with your masks on. This or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that'll set my heart free. I'm gonna let go of control. That's a little hard for me sometimes. I'm gonna get out of my way. That's hard for me too. I know the universe conspires to bring me heaven. Today you can sing with me if you want to say, this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that'll set my heart free. I'm tired of playing it small, doing what I think I should. The universe stands up to greet me, to claim my highest form of good. I know that this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that'll set my heart free. So now think about what you want in your life. What is something that you want? Imagine it in your mind's eye. Get that picture. And then you affirm this. Take a deep breath and you say, I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. And this or something better is waiting, just waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that'll set my heart free. I'm gonna say yes to my dreams that my imagination soar. I know that I have gifts that I must use, 'cause that is what I was put here for. I know that this or something better is waiting. Are you singing underneath your mask? I know that this or something better is the key that'll set my heart free. Now you can claim it by going, I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I said I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I said I know it, I know it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I said I know it, I claim it. So you can keep singing that. And then I do a third part that says this. Here's the question. What you gonna do, what you want to be, what What you gonna do? What you wanna see? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do right now? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do? What you wanna see? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do right now? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do? What you wanna see? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? Now what you gonna do right now? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do? What you wanna be? What you gonna do right now? Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Yay. Thank you, Karen. Good morning. I'm Reverend Mary Murray Shelton. I'm the community spiritual leader here at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. I know most of you know that, but I'm introducing myself because I wasn't supposed to be here today. You might remember that we made a big deal about having Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson as our guest speaker who was going to be streaming in today, and yet here I am. So I'm here to tell you a story. I'm here to tell you a story about my last Sunday. Now, this month's theme is Please Hold for Guidance. And so this was one of those experiences where I felt that throughout the day, I was actually on hold for the universe, and it was not going well. So let me start by saying that when your heart is set on something, when I was a little girl, my mother used to ask me sometimes, well, is your heart set on it? Or if we'd go shopping, she would say to me at some point, well, did you see anything you can't live without? That idea of having your heart set on something is, to me, the idea that it has become such a vision or such an inspiration that the level of attachment to it has increasingly matched that level of enthusiasm. So that's where I was. I had made a plan months in the making to go to this particular spiritual retreat, which required quite a bit of preparation in terms of diet and self-reflection and just preparing what I needed to bring with me and what I needed to leave at home and thinking about it and journaling. And so every day I thought about it for months. So Saturday night, I got an email from Southwest Airlines confirming the flight in the morning at 8:30. I was taking a 5:30 in the morning Airport Express to Oakland Airport. And because I was getting up so early, I went to bed a little bit early on Saturday night, and I got up at 4:30 on Sunday morning to a text message from Southwest Airlines saying that my flight had been rescheduled to 7 o'clock that night. Now, here's the problem. I had a connecting flight, or a subsequent flight, to Costa Rica from Los Angeles, leaving at 10:50 that morning, Sunday morning. It's clearly a 7 p.m. flight to Los Angeles was not going to do the trick. So I just decided that I was going to go ahead and go to the airport, and they were going to fix it for me. They were going to put me on a flight with another airline or something to get me to LA on time. That's how it was going to be. So Amanda took me to the airport. I took the airporter to the Oakland airport. No one had a morning flight that would get me there in time. Southwest Airlines basically kind of said, well, it's your problem, sort of. I mean, it's like, this is what we can do for you, and we don't maneuver with other airlines to see what they can do for you. You have to go and ask them. So I went to all these different airlines to see if somebody had a morning flight. Some of them referred me to another airline. Their morning flight was full, the only one they had, and it wouldn't get me there in time anyway. So it was clear I was not going to get out of Oakland and make it to that flight. But there had to be a way. There had to be a way, somehow. So I called Alaska Airlines, and I explained my difficulty and that my program was starting in Costa Rica on Monday morning, so I needed to get there on Sunday. I needed this flight out of LA. So the Alaska Airlines gal was very sympathetic, and she said, I wish you'd known earlier because I could have put you on a flight out of San Jose that would get you there, at about 10:15 or something, and the flight was at 10:50, or maybe it didn't get in until 10:30, I can't remember. And I said, well, maybe if I took a lift to the San Jose airport, I could get there in time to get that flight. So it was about, I don't know, 8:30 by that time or something. My flight had already left, the one that didn't happen. And so I did that. I called Lyft. She booked me for that flight. I called Lyft. They took me to the San Jose airport. I tried to check in for that flight because I had no bags to check. I tried to check in for that flight on the Alaska Airlines app on my phone all the way from Oakland to San Jose, and the app would not let me do it. It kept saying, error, you have to check in at the airport. Right. So I got to the airport just before boarding was supposed to start. And the San Jose airport, just like the Oakland airport, was absolutely packed. I could not get to the front of the line at the Alaska desk. So by the time I got to the front of the line at the Alaska desk, boarding had already happened. And all I needed was a boarding pass to go get on the plane because I had my suitcase with me, everything. I was ready to go. But no, it was too late. They had closed boarding. They would not let me go. And who knows how I would have made it through security anyway by that point, because it would have been equally backed up. So I sat down and cried for a while. And then I called Alaska Airlines again. And I explained what had happened. And I said, can you get me to Los Angeles in time for that flight tomorrow if I leave San Jose from where I am early in the morning? Yes, they could set me up on those flights. So I could get there Monday evening instead of Sunday evening. I didn't know if that was possible with the retreat center, but I thought, okay, we're going to go for it. So Alaska made those reservations for me for Monday, and I made a hotel reservation for Sunday night in San Jose. Then I called the retreat center. No, you cannot go late. There's too much that's mandatory that happens on the first day that it would not be fair to you or to the other people who are here for the retreat to bring you in late. It just won't work. You'll have to rebook for another time. At that point, now, I had gone from shock to frustration to anger to grief to hopefulness to shock again and I want to say that during this period of time that I was very reasonable with everybody that I talked to at the gate, at the desks, at the Alaska and Southwest Airlines desks, on the phone with Alaska, on the phone with Rhythmia. That would really not be entirely true. I was attached. I was upset. I was crushingly disappointed, and it was not going to happen. So now, utterly and totally and completely exhausted from the whole thing, I texted Amanda, who was here for the service yesterday, and said, and I had texted her throughout this entire saga, as well as my prayer partner, okay, in the lift on the way to the San Jose airport. No. So, surrender. The song that Karen sang at the beginning, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. Now, I've been a religious science minister for more than 30 years. And I know that when something doesn't happen, it's for a higher purpose. Do you think that was at all comforting for me? Do you think that allowed me to just enter into a sense of complete peacefulness? Not even close. I was a complete wreck. I was devastated, I was destroyed, I was upset. Any of those ultra super melodramatic words you can think of to use for somebody who's very attached to something that isn't going to happen, that was me. All those words applied to me. Now, there are pros and cons to being that attached to something, all right? So, one of the pros is that you're open to miracles. And I kept looking for one. I mean, if I could have made a miracle happen, it was going to happen for me. I tried everything. I did everything in my power. Everything. I figured the universe owed me one. I'd put so much into it, right? Apparently not. So the cons to that, of course, are one of the risks of being that attached is being disappointed. And I was disappointed in spades. Now, I want to put this into context. This is not the kind of devastation, disappointment, and upset that happens when somebody near you dies, or, you go bankrupt, or the love of your life leaves you. It was not equivalent to one of those things, except in the initial moments of it. I think the initial moments of a huge upset feel very much the same. It's just the duration of how long that lasts that can vary. Now, we can let something like this destroy, an entire week, but pretty much, I pretty much let it destroy about 3/4 of a day, so that wasn't so bad, after all. What happens when you have expectations that are that high, where something in the universe is not quite in alignment with whatever it is you're that attached to, is you're in for the crash. And the crash, boy, it's really going to happen. And when you get the crash, it's sort of like being in a tsunami. While you're standing on one foot in a wind tunnel, upside down. That's what that crash feels like ultimately. It reminds me of that old song that says, when an old, immovable presence like me meets an irresistible force such as you, something's got to give, right? So I was the immovable presence, and the irresistible force was the universe. It just clearly had a different idea for me. So mostly I felt wrung out right away after this happened. I was in a state of exhaustion, just emotional exhaustion. I had run through so many different emotional highs and lows at such a level that I had gone through a whole range of experiences. Can anybody relate to this in your own life? Yeah, you've been there, And it's like there is a certain level. You can either just give up and be resigned to the fact that something's not going to happen relatively early on in the process, or you can gracefully let it go, or you can double down in your commitment and your determination to carry it through no matter what. Years ago, when I was in a summer program, a summer theater program with University of Washington, the English Summer Theater School, we were in Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Festival, and we had guest teachers come in from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts to work with us. And we had a Russian instructor, I can't remember her name now, who taught certain kinds of movement. But she watched each one of us and then gave us an analysis of something about our personality as actors. And one of the things she said about me was that my characteristic as an actress was that I look for the problem. Where's the problem? Okay, now how am I going to solve this? But always first look for the problem. So I was determined to solve the problems. And they were just not willing to be solved. So we got home and I was pretty much wiped out and ready to feel sorry for myself for a while and to go and sit down and lick my wounds, which I did. And then I decided, I have to deal with all these airlines now. Southwest had booked me on an evening flight that hadn't happened yet. So if I didn't want to just lose that, I had to call and cancel it and explain and all that. And I thought I was going to ask them for a refund. And what I really wanted with my refund was an apology. How dare they, at the very last minute, decide to throw a whole bunch of people who, not all of whom necessarily had to be someplace else, but surely I wasn't the only one, right? Well, I got the sweetest woman on the telephone. She was so sympathetic immediately, so apologetic over the upset, So, and she said, would you like me to put in for a refund for you? I didn't even have to demand it or ask for it or try to wheedle it out of somebody. She offered it. And I told her, I just want you to know how extremely grateful I am to you for your sympathy and your kindness. Because I hadn't felt like I was getting a lot of that, except for on the phone with Alaska, because they've been pretty great. So she did that. Then I called Alaska. They worked everything out for me and got it all, either refunded or planted someplace so I could use it again. I managed to get hold of Rhythmia, and the next day they got me rescheduled for October in such a way that I only missed one Sunday instead of two. And so that was set. Then I managed to get back with Alaska and get all those airline flights set up and all that. So everything is now, knock on something, in place, right? And so the possibility exists that this will unfold very well in October, although I did discover it is one of the 2 rainiest months of the year in Costa Rica. But hey, at this point, I bought a raincoat, I'm ready to go, So this was my saga last Sunday. While you were here being nourished with Reverend Catherine Sachs, I was at various airports cursing the universe. I was not being a source of inspiration to anybody. And this is what happens when you get into the middle of this kind of sense of determination and loss at the same time. You can begin to think that you're a victim. Anybody ever feel like a victim? Yeah, me too. And last week I was really dug in to the victim thing. Brad Warner said, disappointment is just the action of your brain readjusting itself to reality after discovering things are not the way you thought they were. And Beverly Sills said, you may be disappointed if you fail, but you're doomed if you do not try. So one of the good things about all of what I attempted was I knew that I had done everything I could. It wasn't like it fell through because I didn't take that one more step. So I could at least let that part go. I had done my part. I had done everything possible. Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says, every delay is not a denial. In other words, the universe is not necessarily saying no to me. The universe was saying to me, this is not the timing. This is not right. This is not the best way for you. Let it go. Let it be rearranged for you, which kind of is what sort of happened. So we'll see in October, but that was what it looked like. Michael J. Fox, who I admire a lot as a spokesperson for Parkinson's and also somebody who lives with that illness in an inspirational way, he said there's always failure, and there's always disappointment, and there's always loss. But the secret is learning from the loss and realizing that none of these holes are vacuums. There's always something more. Now, one of the pieces that's something more for me that I knew at the time, but I did not find at all comforting, was that this was going to make a really good story. You got to get a little distance from something to actually laugh at it or to recognize that without the tug of, yeah, but I'm still really mad, being a part of the situation. Frederick Schiller said, disappointments are to the soul what a thunderstorm is to the air. There's a clearing for the soul. I'm not sure I've reached it yet, but I'll tell you, I'm a lot more open to it now than I was. And Martin Freeman, whom you might know from the Star Trek movies or the Sherlock Holmes movies or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or, A Love Actually, Martin Freeman can be very funny. He said, disappointment is an endless wellspring of comedy inspiration. I appreciate his sentiment, if not my own experience with it. And Ernest Holmes tells us, he asks this question, why is it so difficult for us to have faith? He says the answer is simple enough. We are so weighted with experiences that contradict faith. It is not easy to turn from negative conditions to positive faith in God. Carefully, we should cultivate the smallest speck of faith. And we should always be reminding ourselves that there is a power on which we may rely. We must throw ourselves with complete abandonment into this power, for it will never fail us. Well, after trying everything else, what was left than to throw myself with complete abandon into this power? Because clearly, the power I required was more than my personal attachment, right? So when we are in a state of shattering disappointment, or that's what it feels like. It might not seem very important to somebody else, but it feels that way to us. First, we have to be with that shattering disappointment. You know, unless we are at the point where we have evolved so that we can rise above a disappointment easily, we have to first feel it. That's the bad news. We have to first let ourselves know what we're feeling and experience it and acknowledge it. Now, one of the interesting things that came about for me in this, which I was not expecting, which was kind of a gift, was the realization that I'm not Eckhart Tolle. I'm not Byron Katie. I'm just a regular person, and disappointment in that situation was perfectly normal. So I really did not need to feel bad or guilty or disappointed in myself that I felt disappointed. It was normal. It was okay. And now I could go on. Does that make sense? For me, it was a realization that, you know what? You're not there yet, and you don't have to be. You do not have to be the perfect spiritual model, even though you think you know what that would look like and behave like if you were it. You get to be where you are, and that is okay. So that was the gift that came out of it for me. And this little remembrance from Norman Vincent Peale. He said, many of the world's finest Oriental rugs come from little villages in the Middle East. And each rug is hand-produced by a crew of men and boys working under the direction of a master weaver. Since they work from the underside of the rug, frequently it happens that a weaver absent-mindedly makes a mistake and introduces a color that is not according to the pattern. And when this occurs, the master weaver, instead of having the work pulled out to correct the color sequence, will find some way to incorporate the mistake harmoniously into the overall pattern. It is a useful object lesson, for we can all learn to take unexpected difficulties and mistakes and weave them advantageously into the greater pattern of our lives. There is an inherent good in most difficulties. So as Norman Vincent Peale said that, it occurred to me that, there is an inherent good in this particular difficulty. I'm not sure I can fully name it yet, but maybe in October I'll find out more. But right now, one of the good things for me is that I do get to be here with you this morning and to see your eyeballs, which is very important. Right now, we're taking really good care of ourselves and each other. Karen and I can be unmasked when we're up front, but not when we're in the room. When we're in community, we need to be masked right now. That's the legal mandate where we live here in Northern California. And so that's what we're doing, because we'd hate to have somebody come in to check and shut us down. Plus, we're just taking good care of each other. And I want to acknowledge those of you who felt that you needed to stay home to take care of yourselves. It's really important that you do that. Just as it's important for those of us here to take care of ourselves and each other. So I want to thank you for that. You've been really mindful of it this morning. I want to share one last little story with you, because this is an example of how things can go wrong with travel, and I just thought it was funny and I wanted to share it. The song April in Paris was written by the composer Vernon Duke and a lyricist. And one of Vernon Duke's friends was so inspired by that song that he set up and went on a trip to Paris in April. And the weather was abysmal. I mean, not just bad, it was horrifying. And so when he got back, this friend went to the composer, Duncan, and he described this thing to him and told him all about it. And the Duke said to him, the composer said to him, "Whatever possessed you to go to Paris in April? The weather in Paris is always horrible in April." And his friend says, "I went in April because of your song." And the composer said, "Oh, we really meant May, but the rhythm of the song required 2 syllables." Things can go wrong for all sorts of reasons in our lives. We don't necessarily know why. We can't always control them. And it isn't the initial reaction that's necessarily the most important part of the situation. The most important part is, so what? Now what? What do we do next? That's the most important part, because that's where our choices, rather than our reactions, actually start to kick in. So I want to invite you to stand and join me in this affirmation for the day. It will support me in my letting go process for sure, and maybe it will support you also in yours. As I surrender and let go what I cannot control, I choose to trust Spirit for a better way forward. Yes. So let's take a minute. I'm just going to do this while you're standing, just to ground this idea in prayer, all right? So as we breathe right now, let's know together that the presence of God fills this place, and it fills every place where someone is watching or listening this morning. There is nothing but that presence around us and in us. No matter what it looks like or feels like at this moment, there is something that is unlimited by conditions, by time, by space, that holds within it infinite possibilities at every moment. And those infinite possibilities sometimes take us into cosmic left turns and divine rewrites. And these are good. So I claim today for us, in spite of any disappointment or letdown, any attachment or confusion, any discouragement or loss of hope, I claim for us instead this morning a renewal, a rejuvenation of faith, a sense of increased trust and peacefulness that all is well, that right where we are right now, all things are working together for our good, for our highest and greatest good, and we are available to welcome, to surrender what was, and to welcome that highest, greatest good, and to surrender into it fully and completely in trust and willingness. This is our truth. This is our essence. This is the seed from which we've sprung. And so I claim it for us now, today, right now, in this moment, and in our week going forward, with great good, with peace, in the consciousness of community that allows us all to be magnificently supported. I accept this good, and I surrender this prayer into the creative law of mind and spirit, which always says yes. And I just let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Yes, you may be seated. Karen, are you going to sing for us now?
Don't I usually do that during the offering?
You can. Yes, you can. So let's go to our morning offering. So if you would like to text for your offering this morning, you are welcome to do that. You can use this number, just text to this phone number, put in the number of the amount you want to donate, not the $, the decimal point, just the number, and they'll take it from there. That's a perfectly lovely way. If you have emailed, or not emailed, but if you auto give, that's great. If you're here with a physical check or money this morning, we want to receive that with equal enthusiasm and gratitude. So for all of those ways that we receive our good, I'm going to invite you to hold the blessing you're giving over your heart this morning and to say this offering blessing with me in unison right now. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is.
So I just changed what I was going to do. Let's do this to anchor what she talked about that much more. A little meditation song. When things are just too much and I'm holding on so tight, gotta just relax, give it up without a fight. I long to feel that sweet release, so I turn within and I pray. And I stop, take a breath, relax, surrender and trust. Then I say, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. Can you sing that with let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. So we're going to just do this for a minute. So I want you to just think about what you need to let go of and do this. Sing with it, just flick it off your fingers. The anger, the disappointment. Let it go, let it go, let it go. If you need to kick, feel free, kick your legs. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. So think about something in your life you need to let go of and say, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Now if there's anything that's tying on your heart, you can take your little scissors and cut. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. Let's sing it one more time. Just sing, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. Just do one last big.
Whew.
Let it go.
So for all of us in this room, we do receive this offering to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living with great love and gratitude. And we bless it knowing that everywhere that it goes, from the moment it leaves our account to go anywhere, it carries with it a powerful blessing toward every recipient that we send any money toward for any reason. So we send it with even greater good than it came to us as we pass it on. And so it is. There we go. This is where I meant to be. Okay, now I can take this off again. Hello. If you're with us for the very first time this morning, don't worry. We won't make you wave or stand up or get any special attention. But what we do want to do is we want to direct your attention to the welcome table at the back where Galen is standing. We have welcome packets on that table back there specifically for you. And we invite you to pick one up and take it with you. It has a copy of Science of Mind magazine in it. It has information about us, and it also has a blue welcome card. If you fill this out and leave it back at the table with Galen, you'll get a free book. And so we'd love to be able to give you that gift. So just fill out your blue card, give it to Galen, and get your gift. And we hope to see you often in the future. We would love it if this became your spiritual community. Also, I want to say a special thank you to all of our team on Sunday morning. You have no idea what it takes to get the room ready for us on Sunday morning. Just this chair and platform and all this process, it's a bunch of heavy lifting. And basically, we have Jim and Frank to thank for this. Jim Homa and Frank. They've been they've been coming in and doing the early part of the setup, and then Dana and Rick came in and they were working on the sound and getting that all ready, and then Karen came in and William came in to get up all the technical stuff, and oh my goodness, it takes a village. So we are blessed to be sitting in these chairs, and I just want to say thank you to all of these folks this morning. Also, as you know, you probably saw the sign, we've got extra masks and hand sanitizer at the table out here and some handouts for how to use your mask. Now, you know, one of the things I notice is that it's not always easy to get a mask that fits well, but it's important. So what you want is a mask that will fit snugly over your nose and is not slipping down, and over your chin. And you want to wear it that way so that you don't have to handle it. Because once it's on, although chances are slim, once it's on, if you touch it, anything in the room that has glommed onto it, you're then carrying it around on your hands. So they want you to just handle it by the elastic, and once you put it on, don't touch it again. Now, that's not the easiest thing in the world, I find, but that's the general guideline. So there are handouts out there if you want help with specifics about how to do that. But we will keep the masks and the hand sanitizer and the descriptions and all that at the doors as long as this mandate is in place so that people won't get taken by surprise and not be prepared. So we just really want to thank you and acknowledge you for helping us out with that. The Fall Science of Mind class is Foundations. That's the first class in the series. It's one of the basic classes, and once you've taken it, you can take any of our other classes, right up to practitioner classes. So it's the first one. It has no prerequisites. It has only one textbook, and there are scholarships available. I'm going to be teaching this class starting September 21st on Zoom on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 9 with our two new practitioners, Suzanne and Rachel. Although they have a lot of experience teaching and facilitating, although this material is new, they're stellar. So I really encourage you, even if you've taken Foundations before, to come on this adventure with us. I think we're going to have a really good time. And if you're new to Centers for Spiritual Living, this is a fabulous class to take because it really gets you anchored in the spiritual philosophy. You can register now. Registration's open, and you can do it right from our website. So if you go to the class registration page, and it's under Classes Events, under that tab, you'll find it under Classes, the registration page. You go there and you can do it all online. Or you can call the office and or email administrator@ggcsl.org to do that. Also, New Member Sunday is next Sunday. We're going to be welcoming 2 new members. They're actually here with us this morning, but I'm not going to out them. We'll wait till next week to out them. But we're going to have a reception dinner to celebrate them on Friday, and next Sunday, we're going to have a big hoopla for them here. So I hope that those of you that are here and comfortable being in the room will be here with us next week so we can make a big deal out of that. We're really looking forward to welcoming them. It will be during the service next Sunday. Also, Quick Start is coming up the following Sunday. That is a free 2-hour workshop that's an intro to science of mind. It's kind of the quick and dirty version of everything we believe that you wanted to know in 2 hours. And it's taught by one of our prayer practitioners, Marilyn Letzos, on Zoom. You can register for that so that you get the Zoom link and the handouts through your email in advance. So just email administrator@ggcsl.org, and Sonia will send you all of that. And you don't have to be local, by the way, to take that. Also want to let you know, for those of you online that have been joining us for coffee, conversation, and connection following the service, that's going to be on hiatus until September. I am going to try and reinstitute that from the room in here so that you could actually say hello to people who are physically here and they could say hello to you online. We'll keep our fingers crossed to see that that comes out and works in September. All right? Also, the new Science of Mind magazine for September is now available. We have it on sale. Where did it wind up, Lesley? Oh, okay, it's at the practitioner table. It's $4.95 plus tax, and we have some copies of it over there. You might want a September issue if you don't have a subscription. It has a daily guide for meditation in it, and articles and all kinds of good stuff. All right. And also, I want to let you know that our Prayer practitioners are always available here at the table following the service so that you can get mini prayer sessions. There's a special space downstairs where we do those. And so please come over to the table if you would like prayer. Never go home with a heavy heart. We also have the prayer box over here. Why don't you bring me the box? And you can put your prayer request into the box at any time on Sunday morning. Mostly don't wander over during my talk, but if you suddenly feel you have a sudden urge for prayer while I'm talking, go ahead. Once you put your prayer request in the box, it's already in prayer. And our practitioners will pray over it for a week after you put it in here. So you can do that if you're in a hurry and can't wait for a prayer that morning. So we encourage you to do that. So right now, while I've got this prayer box in hand with whatever's in it today, let's go ahead and stand together for the closing prayer and benediction and song. And I invite the practitioners to surround the room now. I'm going to ask you, just put your hand over your heart right now. And breathe into that space. Breathe into that heart space. And know that the love of God lives right there. The love of God for you, for everybody here, for the world. It's all around us, and it's right here within us. This love of God is flowing out through us and through our words and actions, through our decisions, through our thoughts, through our prayers this week. It's going before us and clearing our path and opening the way and shining a light in us and on those around us so that we are a blessing everywhere that we go. This is our desire. This is our prayer. This is what we claim for ourselves this week. And in that process, I know that we are empowered to release what needs releasing, to welcome what needs welcoming, and to know the truth. I'm grateful that this is the truth in us now, and I set this word free into the law to do its work, letting it go and letting it be. And together we say, and so it is. So please join me now for the benediction as we say together, I now walk, so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally, and so it is.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Yeah. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. One more time. Let there be peace. Yeah. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. 3 times now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. And so it is.